Hi guys, it's Simon at Kairos Capital Markets with the monthly review of a couple of pairs I'm looking at. Just want to show what the better pairs are out for this month, what to expect and how you can capitalise on the movements. So the first one at the moment on the monthly chart is Aussie dollar. So I know this is part of our weekly review, we do every single week, so it's all fairness, one of the cleanest charts out there. I could probably show you what I mean by a messy chart later on, but this chart here is quite nice. So on a monthly perspective, what you can see here is this. You've got a key level at 70, one touch there, 2, 3 touch, didn't really touch there, but I mean we're going back to 1984 there, so in recent history 70 has been quite good. 80 has been obviously key as well along the line there, and obviously 88 was key in the recent history back in the 2013 onwards. So what's happened here now is we've got this upward sloping trend line broken to the downside. No matter how you draw your trend line, this trend line has broken down to the downside, okay? Now, personally myself, this line here, like this, is a bit better drawn. It had 2 touches there and multiple touches on the way up. You've then got the monthly 50 EMA here, which has a double top pattern on it with a test of the trend line, and then we start breaking down again. And also, it's a Fibonacci 0.38 to the 0.5 pullback. So for me, that's been quite bearish, that has. So I am looking to take a long-term bear position to at least 70, if not to the recent lows around here of around about 62, roughly 63, 62. So let's say, for example, we think that will happen. We will most likely have something like this area here, a trade that would be something almost like this. And we targeting the 63 area, which is about 11% trade there. That stop looks quite small, but it's 125 pip stop there, you see. So it's not as small as people think it is. Quite a large stop, but it's a very safe trade. So for us to understand when to enter this trade, you need to understand what the market's doing now. And to understand that, we're going to go down to the weekly chart. So on the weekly perspective here, I know I've outlined this a little bit on the weekly review, but you've got an upwards channel here you have, which had multiple tests on both sides of the channel. And what's happened here just very recently on the weekly perspective, we had a nice breakdown. We tested 75. Now we've come to move back up again. I've circled 77 purely because of the weekly 50 EMA, the 382 Fibonacci, the 4 touches beforehand, and the test of this channel. Now I do realise we've had a little high test here already, but that isn't good enough for me to sell. I want to see a little bit more confirmation there. And when we come down to the daily chart now, you'll see why. I know we're at the daily 50 EMA, but we can also gloss over that a bit higher. And I just want to see a test of this 77 area, because then you're going to get another touch of this trend line, which is obviously part of the channel. I've only got the bottom part of the channel, I'm not really too bothered about the top part now. You're going to have a test of the 200 EMA, which is the weekly 50 EMA by to let you know, and a test of 77 again. So when we start seeing some bearish sentiment around this area here, I would honestly think that would be a nice sell to take place there. And obviously we're going to break it down again onto the lower time frames to show you exactly what I mean by this. So at the moment, I know I told you already, on the 4-hour chart, we are still making higher highs and higher lows all the way through this chart. So this is not to sell yet. I know it's broken down below the 4-hour 50 EMA, but for me personally, there's no bearish pattern here, and it's still trending in an upwards direction there. So for the moment, I think if you went short here, you'll be a little bit trigger happy. I mean, let's say, for example, it does break down, then come back up again, then find I've missed a trade for what I'm looking for there. But at the same time, I only trade a certain style in a certain way every single time, so I do miss a lot of runs. But normally, when I know what they're going to go and they do what I want them to do, I do actually get them. Also notice around here as well, the volume is huge around here as well. There's been big fights here. That's why, personally myself, I do believe we'll head up higher as well. If you don't get big fights here at the bottom of the trend, and then only for it to then break up, then break back down again. So you got a big fight, start trending upwards, and I think that will be the direction for the next month or so. And we'll wait for the test of 77, see maybe a double top pattern. This could be a left shoulder here, you never know. What's this going to be just yet here? So just anticipate what's going to happen there, and we sit on our hands and see what happens. Now the next pair I was looking at was pound dollar. So I don't normally go on pound dollar too much on the weekly review, but just to give you an idea of what's happening here. So obviously, as you can see here, 1.08, I've highlighted in the red, is where I think pound dollar will head next. And basically, it's from this one chart here. I know it's obscene to say 1.08 already, but that's what I do firmly believe is going to happen. So here we've got 1.42 roughly. It's 1.4 area anyway. We've had multiple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches. The monthly 50 EMA has had 1, 2, 3, you can put 4, 5, 6, 7 around here. So you got multiple touches of the 50 EMA and the 1.42-ish area. You've also got the Fibonacci breathing cycle between 382 and 0.5. And what I did notice here as well, you actually started to have some bullish engulfing candle, inside bar. Then you had this bullish candle here, it didn't really do much. Then you had a bearish high test again, so it couldn't close above the 1.42 area, then broke back down again, which is quite nice to see. So what I'm looking for now is some extra value into this trade now. So we'll go back to the weekly chart and we'll see what we've got. This is the daily chart here for the moment, and this is what I'm looking for here on the weekly perspective. So what I've done here, this is the Brexit candle here. We broke down the 1.375 area there. And what's happening now is this. I know the weekly 50 MA is in the middle here, and it has been respected in the past. It just overextended downwards, it has, in all fairness, and then I was thinking a little pullback to this area here. Obviously we put our Fibonacci pattern in again, we can, and we can see that already it's going to be between 0.5 and 0.382 again. And I just think it will head up higher. It needs that kind of breathing room, then come up, test that test this here, and come it down again, and it's definitely to at least 1.22. So what I'd be looking for really, if you had an order here, for example, you have a stop of say 150 pips, for example. Here you could, if you actually get a decent trade there. 150 pips people don't like talking about, but hey, this is going to be another 11% trade there, and this will be, bear in mind, this is a weekly chart, so this has got a lot more perspective than say Aussie dollar, and this is what I'm looking for now as well. So the market's broken down, got a little low test, started moving up last week, and when we come to the daily chart, you can see 1.325 has acted as key in the past. And notice now the daily 50 and the weekly 50 are just converging together here. By the time this maybe come back down, put another double bottom in, then head back up afterwards. So the price could do something like this and then head back up like that. This isn't a trend. This isn't a bullish trend, because that would almost put it, it'd be testing a double top pattern if it does go to 1.375. And it could be putting in a head and shoulder pattern here. So just to give you an example of a head and shoulder pattern, you could have something like this. You could, very, very strange, the head and shoulder pattern there, a bit twisted, but it could be something like that. And the head would be a double top pattern. The right shoulder would be testing the double top pattern while putting a lower high. And obviously, like I said, you can do much more on the daily chart there. You can see the Fibonacci 0.5 just in your way there. So for me personally, that's what I'm looking for the higher time frames this month. So although I'm bearish on pound dollar and bearish on Aussie dollar, I think both of these two pairs will head back up to value at some point. We can jump in at value and then we can sell them off quite nicely. On this trade alone, if say you got in here and you get a good stop there, for example, something like that, you're going to head down towards the 1.22 area. Just to give you just a little example here, guys. So your first trade would be something like this. Could be even 12%, depending on what stop you got. It would make it nice, even 10%, because that's a nice little trade there. You then would have something off the neckline as well. So you could have a break and retest of this 1.32 area. Same thing again. Targeting the lows again there of 1.22, another 3%. So you need to get 13% quite easy at this trade over the next 2 to 3 months once they happen. You could go long. I think you missed the boat now. You could go long now. Personally myself, if you get a double bottom, I would definitely be thinking about going long on a double bottom here, just because it's putting it in and then it'll head back up afterwards. I think that's what will most likely happen, and then obviously then we can get the sell later when we can. Guys, I hope it helps you to spot what I'm looking for on this month. To give you an idea of a rubbish chart where you don't know where the market's going to go next, just look at Euro Pound, for example. Here you had this move down, it broke back up massively, kind of had a double top pattern there as such, didn't really work out. You then got this is the monthly chart, guys. You then maybe have this pattern form, it could be a range, could be anything, but all these low tests and dojis, everything else, they're all rubbish. It's not testing nothing there at all. It's actually stuck on the weekly 50 EMA at the moment, so just to go back to that one quickly for you. Let's go to the weekly chart there. Sorry, there you are, guys. And to be quite honest, why would you want to trade this mess? It's just utter mess. Not my style at all. I'd rather break and retest the same or look for something else. And you can actually say look for euro dollar, for example. Euro dollar, that's clean, you see, guys. That is clean. A test of 1.2 on euro dollar would be very, very ideal to see that. That's a clean head and shoulder pattern there forming. Much, much cleaner than the last chart we saw. You did that there for you guys. There you are. Just something like that. Something like this. And there you go, that would be nice to see. If we do see something like this over the weekly chart like this will definitely move back down again to the lows of 2015. Okay, guys, so you see what I mean by messy and clean charts. You see what I'm looking for the month ahead now, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.